Microsoft is dropping the next-gen Xbox sooner than you think. Get these cheap Xbox upgrades while you can. Here's how you can get an Xbox by eating pancakes. What is up, y'all? I am Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much whatever I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Xbox Next, what you can expect from it and why people think it's coming out sooner than you think. We'll talk some Black Friday deals that you or the Xbox fan in your life will love, and how you can get a special edition Xbox through IHOP of all places. But first, a word from our sponsors. This video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. The internet can be a really cool place, but it can also be kind of crazy. I hear so many horror stories about people's information or even their location being leaked online, waking up to find their bank accounts completely drained, stuff like that. With just one click, ExpressVPN encrypts your internet connection, ensuring your data stays secure even on unprotected public Wi-Fi networks. Of course, you could use it for other stuff that's really cool, like accessing geo-locked content. For example, I really want to watch Kaiju number 8, but it's not available on the American version of Netflix. Sure, I could sign up for another anime streaming service, or using ExpressVPN, I can change my location to Japan, log into my existing Netflix account, and watch it there. Right now, you can take advantage of ExpressVPN's Black Friday Cyber Monday deal they got going on to get the best VPN deal you'll find all year. All you gotta do is use my link, expressvpn.com/Xbox Ready, or scan this QR code, and you'll get 4 free months when you sign up for a 12-month plan, or 6 free months when you sign up for 24 months. Once again, that's expressvpn.com/Xbox Ready, or remember, just scan this QR code. Thanks again to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. So I watched this IGN video the other day with Ryan McCaffrey, where they were talking about, well, should Xbox just hit the reset button and release the next generation hardware early? Ryan especially is of the belief, he seems very confident that we're not going to be waiting until 2028 to see the next iteration of Xbox hardware. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, that tracks. As you may or may not have noticed, Xbox has kind of evolved beyond the point of being centered around one flagship console. If we look at it as some sort of graph, Xbox would be at the top and it's split amongst many different devices. Many things can be considered an Xbox nowadays, for better or for worse. Whatever Xbox console or consoles that they have out are just a small slice of that overall ecosystem. You could make the argument that the consoles, whether it's a Series X or S or the Xbox Ones that are out there, are just not as important to Microsoft as they used to be. It's no secret that for every Xbox sold, over 2 PlayStation 5 consoles are sold, and that Microsoft, they don't make money on console sales. They haven't in a very long time, if ever. So why not release a next-gen Xbox? It's kind of like, well, they don't have anything to lose, really, so why not just put out another device to be a part of this ecosystem? We know that they've made the commitment to keep making Xbox consoles. We know they're working on a handheld and some sort of successor to the Series X. Phil Spencer recently came out and was like, yeah, we're working on a handheld, but it's like a couple of years out. But there have been separate rumors that we could see a new Xbox as soon as 2026. And at first I was like, yeah, okay, that 2026 Xbox, that's gonna be a handheld, then that'll buy time for the next-gen Xbox or the Series X2 or whatever. But what if it was the other way around? The handheld is a few years out, and we're gonna get the Series X2 or the sequel in 2026. They've literally come out and said, we want to focus more on PC growth and cloud versus console. We love console, but we're going to focus on the other stuff because there's not a ton of growth in the home console market. So releasing another console, it wouldn't disrupt their overall strategy. But before they do that, they need to answer a very important question. In IGN's video, Ryan brought up a very interesting point. He was talking about, oh, Microsoft, they're kind of validated in not putting out an answer to the PS5 Pro or some sort of mid-gen refresh, because there's nothing that a Series X Plus or Pro or whatever would bring to the table that's not already out in the market. It's not like last generation with the Xbox One X, where it brought for the first time true 4K gaming. It's not like the Xbox 360 release where it went from standard definition to high definition. So before they do anything else, Microsoft needs to figure out what the next-gen Xbox could bring to the market that's not already out there. What's going to be the thing about this new Xbox that makes people who maybe have never owned an Xbox console want to buy one, or make existing users say, man, I gotta upgrade from my Series X, my S, my Xbox One, and I gotta get that? Will it be the graphics? On one hand, you have Sarah Bond, who is in charge of Xbox's hardware division, saying that this new Xbox is going to deliver the biggest leap in console generation history when it comes to tech. And at at first, I took that as, okay, this thing is gonna have bomb-ass graphics and performance. On the other hand, you have Phil Spencer saying stuff like, well, when it comes to hardware, when it comes to consoles, it's really hard to deliver something that really makes it stand out from the older tech. He also mentioned that $1,000 Xbox consoles, that's not the future, that's not the direction that they want to go in. It may or may not be a dig at Sony and the PS5 Pro being $700, but thanks to Sony, we have seen the cost of high graphics, high performance with that PS5 Pro, and at minimum, it is $700. So just from what I can observe, just going off of what Xbox leadership is saying, this next-gen hardware that they have coming out, while I think the graphics are going to look good, the performance is going to be solid, especially if the Series X is the blueprint, I don't think the selling point is going to be, oh my god, the best looking graphics on the market. They've already tried that before with the Series X, and it didn't really move the needle for them at all. Will it be the games? I've been thinking a lot about the Xbox 360 generation, and especially how it launched. There was so much hype around the Xbox 360 when they dropped it. First of all, they dropped it before the PS3 launch, which gave them a lot of momentum, which is something they maybe could replicate if they decided to drop the Series X2 before the PS6. But more importantly, the 360 had some really awesome launch titles. Whereas the Xbox One, they had a couple that were interesting, none that were really bangers, and then when the Series X and S launched, they didn't have anything in terms of first-party stuff since Halo Infinite got delayed. But nowadays, Xbox has a ton of first-party content in the tank, just waiting, itching, begging to be shipped. So in theory, they could cobble together a really awesome launch lineup to coincide with this next-gen hardware. The thing about it is whatever game is going to launch on the next-generation lineup, well, they're still going to be supporting it on the Series X and S, meaning there won't be an immediate need if you already own an Xbox to upgrade, if you're just looking at the games. And let's be honest, the way that Xbox is going, a lot of those games are going to end up on either PlayStation 5 or Nintendo. And given some recent comments about Avowed and why they decided to push it back, Microsoft Xbox, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like they're interested in releasing a batch of first-party games within a small window. They want to space it out a little bit, mostly because of Game Pass. So we could probably mark the games off of reasons why you would buy the next-gen Xbox. At this point, the only thing that makes sense to me, the one thing that we don't have in terms of consoles that are already on the market, the last card that Microsoft Xbox has to play is making this next-gen Xbox a hybrid between a home console and a PC. Phil has mentioned in the past that he would love to see other launchers, other storefronts on Xbox consoles, specifically the Epic Game Store. Probably the worst one to give an example of, but hey, the concept is still pretty cool. It's literally the final frontier for consoles, and Xbox is already kind of on this path of merging those experiences. They say that they want to expand more on PC because there's more growth in that market. So maybe they have an interest in slowly turning their console player base, who they said that they love and they want to keep supporting, into PC players. It's really the only thing that makes sense to me. And it's only something that Microsoft can really do. Listen, they have tried the traditional flagship console approach. They've tried to put out answers to the PS4, the PS4 Pro, the PS5, and from a console war perspective, a sales perspective, it hasn't worked. Putting a hybrid console PC on the market, not only would it align with their current philosophy, but it can also be an important stopgap, one that satisfies the core console owners that they've cultivated over the past 20 plus years, while also drawing in some new people. Hey, are you interested in playing games on a PC, but you want something that's a little bit more user-friendly? You can buy this console, and it's kind of like a console experience, but it has the open-ended nature that you would find on a gaming rig. And oh yeah, if you like that, you can also buy this handheld that has a similar OS, but you can take it with you on the go. You can dock it and play it on your monitor. When I think about it like that, it makes the whole Xbox ecosystem, everything is an Xbox thing, a lot more exciting, because no longer are they tethered to like, okay, we have the one Xbox and that is the target, that's the only thing that we got. They can afford to take like crazy swings. They can afford to do weird stuff. Valve has already proven with the Steam Deck that people are interested in hardware alternatives to PC gaming. And while sure, the major draw of it is the handheld part, at the end of the day, it is this device that lives somewhere between a traditional console like the Nintendo Switch and a mini PC. And you can argue that with these current gen Xboxes, Microsoft is already sort of blurring the line between console and PC. You can hook up a mouse and keyboard to your Xbox and play games. If you pay $19, $20, You can activate dev mode on your console. You can run emulators. You can play PlayStation games on it. Of course, that's not the intended use, but that PC-like versatility is really, really cool. They could just take it a step further with whatever console they come out with next. And they can also take that approach with their handheld. Sure, the thought is that they'll have an original, compact, Xbox, Windows gaming experience, but we also know that Valve is getting SteamOS to run on the ROG Ally. And it would be cool to see Microsoft partner with Valve to make sure that they can run SteamOS on the Xbox handheld, just to give players that option. Imagine not one, but two devices where you have access to all of your Xbox library, you have access to Game Pass, and also your Steam library. I'm really excited to see what they do with this Xbox handheld. We know that the team who's working on it, their primary directive right now is to observe the handheld gaming market, see what players actually want, and I'm hoping that leads to like the ultimate gaming PC handheld. Like Microsoft, they sat back, they watched Steam Deck do their thing, Asus, and then Microsoft comes out with an Xbox handheld. They're like, check this out. It's got multiple USB ports, an 800p screen, an OLED panel. It's got back buttons, it's got a frame rate limiter, it's got performance monitoring, a good D-pad, a freaking gyroscopic control system in the middle of it. If you don't want to wait around for the next-gen Xbox though, whenever it's going to be coming out, you want something a little bit more tangible, may I remind you that there are a bunch of discounts on Xbox hardware and accessories thanks to my favorite time of the year, Black Friday. If you're tired of always running out of storage on your Xbox console, you're tired of deleting games, re-downloading them to make room for whatever comes out, there's a pretty decent discount on WD Black cards on Amazon. You could pick up an extra terabyte of storage for $100. And no matter what console you own, the Series X or the Series S, an extra terabyte of storage is going to make your life a lot easier. For example, you just downloaded Stalker 2 and then you got hit with another patch that's like 40, 50 gigs. You won't have to worry about it once you have this card plugged in. Also on Amazon, we're seeing a great discount on the Xbox Series S. It's down to $250, which is what I got mine for. $250 is an extremely fair price. I feel like the Series S should be this price permanently. For $250, you're not going to find any other bit of gaming hardware that performs at the level the Series S does. It's also extremely portable too, so I've traveled with it. And in a world where a lot of games aren't split-screen co-op or local co-op, it's giving me the chance to play multiplayer games with my friends in the same room that require two different consoles or two different clients of the game running at the same time. We're also seeing discounts on the Series X if you want something a little beefier. Not as steep. I've seen it as low as like $450. It's not really amazing considering that you can buy a Series X, a digital one at least, for $400, but if you want that disc drive and you want to pay the extra $50, that's a pretty solid deal still. And last but not least, if you don't want to wait around for Xbox to release their own handheld, you can get the next best thing, the ROG Ally X, which right now is the de facto Xbox handheld because it runs on Windows. I haven't gotten my hands on one of these, but I did mess around with the previous iteration, just the standard ROG Ally, and while it took some getting used to, I really enjoyed it, and people seem to really like the Ally X and the upgrades that came along with it. It's $100 off at Best Buy right now. And when you compare it to the Steam Deck, I'm like, okay, $600 versus $700, this seems a lot more reasonable. And unsurprisingly, there are a ton of discounts on controllers if you want to pick up an extra one for yourself. The Elite Series 2 dropped down to $107 at Walmart. This is my go-to controller. I use it even when it doesn't make sense to use it. Like I was using it to play Sea of Stars with my wife the other night. But it especially comes in clutch with shooters. I'm using it on Black Ops 6 right now and love it. Having those back paddles means I never have to frickin' take my fingers off of the thumbsticks, meaning I can be constantly moving, aiming, just multitasking. I should clarify that this is the Elite Series 2 Core, meaning that it only comes with the controller. If you want the charging case, if you want the extra paddles, the thumbsticks, you're gonna have to buy that separately. If you want something a little bit more basic, they do have the regular robotic white controller on sale for $40, and there's also a little sale on the PowerA Lumetric controller. This is my second favorite controller. When I'm not using my Elite Series, I'm using this one. Especially in the dark, I have all my lights going. This is a wired controller, which might be a deal breaker for a lot of people, but it's perfect if you game at a desk. You can change the colors, the different lighting modes. It doesn't have as many back buttons as the Elite Series 2, but it has a couple. It has one on each side. I was using this to play Call of Duty the other night too, and it was awesome. And once you upgrade your console, your storage, you get a nice controller. Now all that's left is to buy the actual games. This one's a bit of an oldie at this point. point, but A Way Out is less than $5. Me and my wife had a blast playing this game. I saw that both the PS5 and the Xbox version of Space Marines 2 was on sale, $20 off on Amazon, but now when I go look at it, it says that the Xbox version is unavailable. If you see this deal pop up anywhere else, if you can get Space Marine 2 at a discount, highly recommend this game. I kind of fell off on it once Metaphor came out and then Black Ops 6 came out. I played through the campaign though, and it just feels like an old school Xbox shooter. I know a lot of people have said that already in their reviews, but it's true. They also have a couple of deals running on Game Pass subscriptions. This one is especially cool at CD Keys. I know they just hit us with the price increase, which sucks, but it makes these deals all the more awesome. And if you want to see what all the hype's about, if you want to see for yourself this whole "this is an Xbox" thing, put it to the test, there's a discount on the Xbox Amazon Fire Stick bundle. It comes with a controller, the Amazon Fire Stick, and a month of Game Pass Ultimate. This isn't a Black Friday thing, but separately, if you want to try and get this special edition IHOP Xbox, that is right, IHOP Xbox, the way you try to win this one, it's a little different than how they usually do it. Usually when they have a special edition console, they're like, follow the Xbox account on Twitter for your chance to win whatever console that we're trying to give away. For this one, you have to download the IHOP app. You sign up for their rewards program and they give you pan coins. And every time you're at IHOP, you get more pan coins, which you can then use to enter into a raffle, a sweepstakes for the special edition Xbox, an Elgato creator bundle, and also a monitor. I had no idea this was a thing until Xbox invited me to this event in LA to try the special menu items that they have for the Indiana Jones game. The Great Cinnamon Circle was actually pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. And while I had a terrible experience with my Uber on the way home, it was a really fun event and I got to see the IHOP Xbox. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. I'm almost to 190,000 subs, but I'm on a journey. I got a goal to get to 200,000, and I'd really appreciate your help getting there. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.